V-Week and also the ACC-SEC Challenge is underway, and we continue our coverage from Stanford, California, with two of the most storied programs in women's basketball facing off for the 40th time. It's number 19 Tennessee taking on the Stanford Cardinal. Earlier this afternoon, other games going on in the challenge. And a couple of the ranked teams, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, taking care of business. Syracuse, that one went to overtime. And then Georgia, the 20-point win over Florida State. Right now, the SEC is leading the way, 3-1 over the ACC. Hi, everybody. So glad you can be with us. I'm Crystal Blank alongside the Indiana Fever head coach. This is Stephanie White. And Steph, this is the time of year where teams really evaluate, kind of see where they are at this point. And this challenge right here really sets up the perfect competition.
It does. It's the perfect measuring stick. I mean, non-conference is set to prepare you for conference play. These types of games also have implications in NCAA tournaments, so a tough matchup here tonight.
Yeah, it will be. There's no doubt about it. And then when we think about this game, pace is going to be important, and Tennessee likes it fast.
Yeah, they sure do. They want to dictate their tempo on the defensive end of the floor. They're going to play you 94 feet. They want to force you into turnovers. They average nearly 30 points a ball game off of opponents' turnovers. And this is a long, athletic team that uses platoon-style substitution patterns. They wear you down throughout the course of a 40-minute game.
Yeah, they have depth. They have some youth and some of that depth. Speaking of, how about the number 3 freshman class coming in for Stanford? They've got some talented youth also.
They sure do, and they've lived up to the hype up until this point. This will be their first true challenge against a Power 4 opponent. But Kate Pace says, I love their size, their versatility. They are hard workers, they're coachable, and they're going to be impact players here tonight.
Yeah, and she said, you know, a couple of them have been starters. They've got a good balance. They have good experience to go with this youth. So this is going to be an interesting, and you're right, this will really be their first true test against this ranked Tennessee Lady Vols team. And there is the head coach for the Stanford Cardinal in her second season with the program as the head coach. But how about 17 seasons prior to that as the associate head coach for the legendary Tara Vanderveer. She's feeling a lot lighter, a little better this year in this second season. It's a tough turnaround, especially jumping right into the ACC conference.
It really is, and a lot of change a year ago, taking over this storied program, a lot of influx and change in the roster, as well as conference. And you can just see the vibes are a little bit different around here.
Yeah, they are. This is really a positive group. Tip is up, and it's into the hands of Tennessee. Tennessee coming off of a tough one at UCLA, the number 3 team in the nation, just a few days ago. And Coach Kim Caldwell said, I don't want the team to come out flat. We've been sitting around for a couple days at the hotel.
It's tough when you sit around in a hotel and you're on the road, you're not really doing anything. Lots of days to practice.
Yes.
And she wasn't happy with their energy at the beginning of shoot around, but they certainly picked it up.
Well, she definitely got their attention, and a game at UCLA in which they knew it's not going to be easy as the shot clock is winding down and trying to post inside. Nope, they're going to call 3 seconds on the Cardinal.
A missed opportunity there on a mismatch and a switch. You can't allow that much time to go by, and a great job by Nia Robertson to battle down there.
Yeah, they list Robertson at 5'7", and she was going against Lara Shimfai, the 6'3" freshman out of Adelaide, Australia, but not able to get it to her. See the starting 5 for Tennessee. Barker just missing. Big rebound. Rebounding's going to be key for the Cardinals.
It's going to be critical. You know, this is a team in Tennessee that likes to shoot a lot of threes. They like to shoot them quick in the shot clock, but they are an excellent offensive rebounding team.
10th in the nation in offensive rebounds as the jumper for Shimfai won't go. Both teams bringing in 5 freshmen. The number 2 recruit class for Tennessee, number 3 for Stanford. And an air ball right into the hands of Aguera. And the first bucket good. It goes to Stanford. Courtney Ogden has started every single game this year. Had just one start last year, but played every single game. Her role has stepped up.
And that's important. It's the balance that Kate Pay talked about. The veterans understand that they need the young players. The young players understand they need the veterans. Everybody was thrown into the fire, so to speak, a year ago, playing more outside of their role, and now an opportunity to take that experience and use it this year.
You got that right. There is Kim Caldwell, the head coach. She's in her second season with Tennessee, and you can see this West Coast trip, again, going to UCLA. 40th overall meeting for these two programs, and it's been such a fun matchup over the years. And a whistle and a foul as Stanford tries to break some of the pressure. Taking care of the basketball will be crucial. As you see, Kim Caldwell and her team, not one to come out flat, but she also said, we've got to hit the boards. We've got to do those things that have gotten us to this point.
Well, it's a team in Tennessee that's used to winning in the margins, and that's turnovers for scores, that's offensive rebounds for scores. They shoot it at a pretty low clip from the three-point line percentage-wise, but it gives them opportunities to crash the offensive glass.
And you talked about the mass substitutions that they will do at times. She's already brought fresh legs on now, as you see a whole new unit other than Barker. But she says, look, they're going to give 100%, and they know they're going to get a breather, and then they can come back in.
They're going to come right back in.
Trying to work it on the interior. And the defense right there with the length. Another chance. Didn't hit iron, though. Shot clock to 2. Rapolo. And they're going to wave it off. Shot clock violation. So there's a big stop for the Lady Vols.
Well, the Lady Vols, they're so long, they're so athletic. They have that rim protection behind you. So if you get beat off the bounce, you know that your teammate has your back. And Coach Caldwell talking to us about that in shoot-around. They were a little bit exposed, guarding one-on-one against UCLA.
They're forcing 22 turnovers a game on their opponents. Mia Paldo turns it up, squares it up good. And that allows full court pressure.
And that's going to be a challenge for Stanford, really guarding one-on-one, being able to contain dribble drives.
And the officials blowing the whistle once again.
I mean, this is just a great move. Paldo taking Rapolo down low, uses a little head and shoulder fake, creates enough space to get that shot off, but she's now saddled with her second foul.
And that is not good for Tennessee. She's spinning back in. The drive, Katie Swain, one of the freshmen, off the mark. Here comes Tennessee. Defense getting back. A quick passing around the perimeter, a crawl off the iron. Good hustle. And a jump ball. That's the aggressiveness of Tennessee. But so far, I think Stanford's had bodies, or trying to find bodies, which is going to be crucial.
Yeah, they've done a really good job up until this point of really securing the defensive board, finishing possession, and that's what you have to do. You have to force and challenge Tennessee to make outside shots, and you have to limit their opportunities on the offensive glass. But again, it's early, and when you think about the minutes that these Tennessee players are playing, they stay fresh through the fourth quarter.
Exactly. And they continue this length and full court pressure. It's going to stay with Stanford, just under 7 minutes left first quarter.
There can't be a situation the entire night where Stanford only has one person in the backcourt trying to get the inbound. There have to be multiple players in the backcourt giving opportunity.
Going to need help as Clardy is checked in, tries to knock it off with Tennessee, and instead it's points off turnovers. Headed play from Cooper. She and Nia Robertson have really been good as of late to go with Janiah Barker. Kick out and swat. Cooper with the length, the red shirt junior.
Dead balls, made shots, every time Tennessee's going to set their pressure, and it's really important where you are able to inbound the basketball. We saw Tennessee working at shoot-around today, really forcing Stanford low.
Stanford on a bit of a scoring drought. Got to find some offense. Shot clock down to 3. And another shot clock violation, which is exactly what Tennessee loves to do.
Well, you mentioned it, a hard time finding offense, and that's going to be the challenge for Stanford as the season continues to progress. They've improved from a year ago on the defensive end of the floor. Can they generate enough offense to allow them opportunities to win ball games?
Yeah, coming off some fairly low-scoring games. I mean, coming into this one averaging 74 a game, but just 62 points against Colorado State and 62 points against Florida Gulf Coast. 4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes for Stanford. Watching the overtime, a winner for Oklahoma in this ACC-SEC Challenge. We're at Stanford, California, inside Naples Pavilion, and it's been a close one so far as finally the first three made for Tennessee. And the pressure continues. The MO for this Lady Vols team. Full court pressure to create opportunities.
Yeah, you cannot afford, if you're Stanford, to just watch Lopolo bring the ball up the floor one-on-one. Great job of finding the open Nunu Aguera. But there have to be players that are flashing to the ball. This is a run and jump pressure. They're going to try to trap you. They're going to get the ball out of your hands. They're going to fly around in passing lanes. Stanford has to have outlets.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to just do it precisely as opposed to really bringing in more help. And there haven't been enough bodies down there as Tennessee is going to crash the offensive glass every time as well. A miss there. And Apollo trying to dodge multiple defenders. Five turnovers already for Stanford and 6 points off of them for Tennessee.
And Talani Lopolo is having to work incredibly hard, 94 feet. Got to find some relief.
We're so glad to have her back. There's Clardy, the heavy play by the veteran who comes off the bench. A starter last year when Lopolo was out, but she's accepting this role this year.
Well, and she really is the one player for Stanford that can get downhill, that can create offense at the rim, put pressure on the defense.
I had a feeling we'd see her come in pretty quickly against this pressure. As that one won't go for Siddle. Jada Siddle, the birthday girl, the freshman out of Vero Beach, Florida. And there's another takeaway. Cooper. She just padding her stats off of her defense.
You know, Cooper's had games where she's had 7 steals and 6 steals in a 2-game span. She does such a good job of using her length. Her timing on the steal is impeccable.
Stanford starting to find the answer to breaking this full-court pressure.
Well, this is Tennessee's MO. They're going to pressure you. They're going to hound you. Nearly 30 points a ball game off of turnovers. That's an easy 2.
ACC SEC Women's Challenge here inside Maples Pavilion. And the Stanford Cardinal trying to hang in with number 19 Tennessee, Krista Blank alongside Stephanie White. And so far it's close, but it feels like Tennessee has been in control.
Yeah, it does. Tennessee's done a great job of forcing turnovers, which is their specialty. 6 of those that they've forced, and they've been able to score 8 points off of those. And for Stanford, Kate Pay talking to us today in shoot-around, we got to rebound the basketball. We got to take care of the basketball.
Yep. She knows what this Tennessee team can do. The system for Kim Caldwell, she's also in her 2nd season as the head coach. And they want pressure. They're going to crash the offensive glass. That's exactly what they've done. They've gotten 8 points off of 6 turnovers for us so far. So 8 of their 11 coming from their defensive effort.
Well, and Stanford's putting a lot of pressure on themselves in the backcourt, trying to bring the ball against this press one-on-one. But Courtney Ogden has been a great source of offense.
And she has been, and she has 6 points. And now a takeaway. And the bench loving the effort, so is this crowd. Tennessee just 2 starters back from a Sweet 16 team a season ago. They do have 5 seniors, but a few transfers, a lot of new pieces. So 3 transfers, 5 freshmen. That's 8 new players coming in to Kim Caldwell's system.
And it's a unique system, so it does take some time to figure it out, to gel from a chemistry standpoint, to understand roles, to understand and learn who you're playing with.
And the same for the Cardinal. He's working it inside. Aguirre shot won't go, but Quinn ended up on the weak side. That's Eschmeyer who's checked into the game. And Cassandra Eschmeyer, one of the 5 freshmen added to the Cardinal lineup.
Yeah, Kristen, I was really excited about coming to watch Alexandra Eschmeyer because I played AAU basketball with her mother, Christina Divyak, who is a heck of a player at Northwestern.
Quite the family. And
yes.
You can see there the numbers and the mixture that both teams have. But Eschmeyer's a nice piece coming in the length. Kate calls her kind of a stretch 5. Whistle on the interior, a little too physical down low. Fouls starting to accumulate against Tennessee.
So both of these programs have two of the top 3 recruiting classes in the country. Their freshmen are getting a lot of opportunity early. And one of the things that Kate Pay talked to us about was the versatility of this freshman class. And the stretch 5 in Eschmeyer shows you that.
And the same thing for, I think Kim Caldwell said, we're still working on our chemistry. It takes time. But they said they've got some pretty good chemistry over the summer, had the majority, and then they recognize the breakdown, but a turnover, the travel going against the Cardinal. There's that recruit class for Kate Pay, the number 3 ranked group coming in. Last year, moving into the ACC, the Cardinal, their first ACC-SEC matchup and challenge, and it was an overtime loss at LSU. Tennessee bringing in 5 freshmen as well. And you've coached and you've played at every single level. It just takes time, and you never know. Some freshmen can come in and really adjust, but it's a whole different pace and level.
It's a different pace. It's a different level. There's a different requirement in terms of consistency that it takes. Like, this is not high school anymore. You can't just go out and just beat people one-on-one. There's a way that you have to work. There's a way that you have to approach every single day, and it's an adjustment period.
It certainly is. And this is the time of year, though. This is where they're learning, okay, where are we? What do we need to adjust and work on?
And you get close to the time of year that the coaches love the most, which is Christmas break, and there's no school, and you can solely focus on basketball.
Yes. Oh, hit back and clean up. That's Chloe Clardy, the junior, and that gives Stanford the lead. First lead in a while for the Cardinal before it was 2-0 to start.
This is a great job, again, recognizing, dropping off the pass. Clardy does a good job of following that pass as well and getting an easy opportunity on the putback. But the difference in coming out of that first time out for Stanford is how they're moving the ball up the floor against the pressure. They're moving it with a pass as opposed to trying to dribble through it. And once you break that first level of defense against Tennessee, Stanford getting high percentage looks.
And they haven't seen anything like this so far this season. You can try to emulate in your practices as best you can, but Tennessee definitely brings a different sort of length and athleticism. Hesitation by Aguera, partially tipped away, and it comes down to Tennessee. Just under 2 minutes left, first quarter. Robertson, good patience. Stanford wanted to travel, no whistle. And they finally get one there. A travel call on Spearman. Third turnover of the game for Tennessee.
And Tennessee's had some challenges with turnovers as well. And when you play at a fast pace, you're going to have a number of turnovers. It's the types of turnovers. The dead ball turnovers you can live with. Give you an opportunity to set your press, to dictate on the defensive end.
Yeah, good point. You can live with some of it. I think Kim Caldwell knowing what their system's like, but depending on when they happen, miss on the layup, but a jump ball.
Yeah, turnovers really hurt them against UCLA. And UCLA 29 points off of those turnovers.
Yes.
It's the live balls that allow teams to get momentum, get a jump.
Yeah, really flip-flopped the style. UCLA sort of threw Tennessee's system back at them with the 20 turns forced. But she said, yeah, we got to cut down. 20 turnovers, she was not happy about that. Spearman at the high screen, and she's going to get it back. Pick, roll, reverse, off the mark, and it's going to go out of play and go the other way.
Now that's a good look. We saw Tennessee working on that on-ball screen and having Z Spearman dive into the rim. They're going to get some opportunities in the paint with that look.
6'4" senior, transferred a season ago from Miami.
And you know the trap is coming. Good job of Clardy of avoiding it.
Clardy's been a big help off the bench for Stanford since this game got going. She gets it back. High archer off the back of the rim. And not able to get the box out. Good effort from Aguera. Another chance. Swain. The fake and the bucket. We heard Kate Pay talking about that in shoot around. Use ball fakes.
Ball fakes, pass fakes, shot fakes. I thought she had an open look. She got a better one.
3-point lead, the largest that Stanford's had this entire way. It's been tight from the start. First quarter winding down. Robertson around the rope drop, but keeping it alive. Spearman. Oh, and just a little short, but she gets fouled. She's going to go to the line. Love the effort of Z. Spearman.
Yeah, I've been so impressed with her development since she's come to Tennessee. A great second effort on the offensive glass. Good job of attacking the paint. You know, you've seen her game go from being a true back-to-the-basket post player to now doing a little bit more face-up, even shooting the ball from the three-point line. When she was at Miami, she was mostly a defender and a rebounder, and now her offensive skill set has improved.
You really can see her just look to face up every single time, and you didn't see it before as that one's off the mark. Hey, tomorrow on ESPN, the ACC SEC Women's Challenge rolls on. It's number 3 South Carolina and number 22 Louisville at 7, and then number 6 LSU taking on Duke at 9 p.m. I love these matchups. There have been some really close ones. A couple of overtime games already today, and even more tomorrow as the pressure continues. This quarter winding down, 2 on the clock. And a look from Mary Ashley Stevenson, but that will do it for the first quarter. 2-point lead for the Stanford Cardinals. We'll take the break. First quarter in the books. Stanford hanging with number 19 Tennessee.
You know, and for these young players, you've got a lot of young players that are participating early, and they're getting thrown into the fire, and they get exposed. And it's a great job getting a 5-second violation, and you want them exposed early. And then you see, are they resilient? Can I put them in the ball game and conference play in certain situations? How are we able to handle difficult situations? You know, what's the character of our team?
Yeah, she's definitely had the schedule this year starting at number 9 NC State at the time, a close 3-point loss there. They've already faced at UCLA. A lot of them are on the road as well. You're going into these tough venues. They have Louisville coming up, and it's a takeaway by Lopolo. And on the drive, the defense getting back. How about the block? Big D by Paul. Oh, Lopolo rips it out of the hands of Robertson. Aguera being aggressive, and a foul call. Gonna go on tonight, Paul. Back and forth takeaways here.
Well, I love the pace that Stanford's playing with. Get a hand in there. They're sagging off from the three-point line. That enables them to get down the floor. But what a hustle play by Paul to get back and deny that easy bucket. And on the other end, Lopolo getting another steal. This is a much improved defensive team for Stanford. I mean, this is a team that a year ago was in the bottom of the ACC in nearly every defensive category, in the bottom of the NCAA in nearly every defensive category. And while their schedule hasn't been as challenging up to this point, you can see the improvement and the commitment on that end of the floor.
Yeah, it's something that they focused on. They knew it was an area that they had to improve upon. They worked on their conditioning as well, and getting that young group in for the majority of the summer. Many of them were going to have an opportunity to go play international ball, World Cup ball, and instead they came in the summer and got to work.
And these young players, you can see the numbers, but these young players have size that Stanford didn't have a year ago as well. And you see their versatility defensively. They're switching on ball screens. They're using that length. They're playing strategy on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, and they're certainly going to need it as the season goes along, as they move into ACC play. Very athletic, physical conference.
And again, when you're talking about young players, it's the commitment to doing it every day.
Yeah.
Right? Not just getting up for the games that you think are more high-profile games. It's the commitment to doing it every day.
Yeah, that's got to be difficult, I would think, sometimes to bring out of your athletes every single day. The full court pressure continues. And our officials having a conversation. Fatu Sissoko Stevens, Chuck Gonzalez, Jeff Wooten. So everybody's set. Just confirming the possession here, and now the pressure. You can see Aguera bringing it up some, giving a little more length, but there's the defense forcing the turnover once again. Barker Thought she got fouled, no whistle. Swain gets it to Clardy. Ogden making sure she didn't step on the end line.
And this is that versatility. That's Shumfai out there initiating offense, playing off of the elbow, going into the split action, and Swain, a great job of using her speed and quickness to get downhill.
And she clears it out, yeah, the opening down the lane. 5-point Stanford lead. Tennessee's system has got to be shocking at first, I'm sure. But Stanford, if they could just contain and handle it early on, they could stay in it, they felt.
We've seen some teams that have had some success. Belmont had some success until down the line and into the ball game.
Yeah.
Shot clock winding down. Civil gets it off.
Oh, boy, that one did everything but drop. Foul call down low.
And again, the good defensive effort. O'Gara does a great job of staying vertical. Chloe Clardy keeping the play alive. And then Swain, who again gives the Cardinal another dynamic, somebody else who can get downhill.
Haley Swain, 5'11" freshman from Marietta, Georgia. 5-star recruit, McDonald's All-American. She has started every single game in this first year. Clardy, no hesitation, but a little short on the shot, and Tennessee wants to push. Oh, looking for an and one, but she'll get free throws. And to the line, that's Tania Prawl, the freshman from Toronto, Canada.
Number 2, Haley Swain. First team foul.
Again, good defense. Tennessee able to use their length, able to get a little bit of a hand on that ball, and then transition defense for Stanford. Chloe Clardy attacking the rim. Somebody has to get back in transition defense. A little slow, and now that gives Tennessee opportunity at the foul line. But they struggle. They shoot under 70% as a team from the free throw line. They're going to get there a lot because of how they play. Being able to convert, being able to get some easy ones to go in is going to be important.
Oh, you're right. Gonna have to improve that number. Is off the mark there on that one. Tennessee 3 for 8, and you can bet it's going to be an area of focus this team's going to have to work on. Swain dodges the press. Switch by Tennessee, still hands out, trying to frustrate the Stanford team, and they certainly have right here. Clock down to 1, and again another shot clock violation.
And who else? Talaysia Cooper has 4 steals already in this ball game. A great job of being disruptive, just getting a deflection that leads to a potential steal, and Stanford not enough time on that shot clock.
Yeah, I love the pressure from Cooper, just pushing them further and further away from the bucket.
What I like is that she's so disciplined while she does it. It's not demonstrative. She's not swiping. She's just using her length to get a hand on the ball and then releasing to go get it.
Really smart decision making on that end. Long rebound, and Spearman gets fouled in the process. But a top 25 matchup we have this Friday on ESPN. Number 11 Gonzaga and number 18 Kentucky, 7 o'clock Eastern from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. So many great matchups across the board. Another whistle. They've had the whistles ready. I think they knew it'd be a physical game, and they're not letting it get out of control, that's for certain. 2 team fouls for Tennessee, 3 for Stanford. Robertson off the mark. Didn't hit iron. Another chance, though. Paul waving the bucket.
Yeah, they're going to get on to it again.
Yep. Foul going against her. It's her second. And the 4th on Stanford. So she'll take a seat. She's had a good start to the game, but now picking up the second personal.
She has. You can see that arm come in there. Just really trying to slow down the ball handler.
Pick and roll. The finger rolls in. Z Spearman gets a bucket.
Yeah, I think that flash to the middle has to be a little bit faster. Champagne was on her way. They got to be able to utilize that.
Polo.
Oh, I've got to give her ball.
Eschmeyer was posted up. They didn't go with it. Cardi tries the bounce pass into Eschmeyer. Too low. Tennessee will take it. And they're going to call a foul on Spearman this time. Push from behind.
Personal number 11, Z Spearman. Third team foul.
Tennessee really working this pick and roll and shoot around, knowing that Stanford was going to be a switching defensive team. They will take advantage of Spearman's ability to get to the rim.
Foul on Spearman her first. She'll get a rest.
Gotta go.
Gotta get it across, and just does. Nice patience by the point guard, the senior, with the assist into Eschmeyer.
That's a great look. You get Tennessee in rotation, you're going to be able, if you can take care of the basketball, to get a high percentage look. Oh my, that was a foul.
It sure was. And one taken away from Jada Sybil, but she'll take the bucket.
Tough bucket.
That really was. Jada Sybil. 4 starts for her this season. A team that's had 7 different starting lineups. They've played 9 different players in those spots. Champagne, just short. Hope D coming over against Barker. She kicks it out. That one won't go for Paldo, but another offensive rebound for Tennessee. Average almost 18 per game.
Gotta go get it.
And finally, the Cardinal with the box out. 10th in the nation, Tennessee, in offensive rebounding. Apollo loses the D. Jumper around and won't drop.
Yeah, Tennessee, just the commitment to crashing is there. And this is a team that's long, that's athletic. There are a lot of long shots. Teams are going to challenge them to make threes, which means you're sagging off. And if there's no contact, these Tennessee players just fly in and get offensive rebounds.
You're right about that. Using the screen and good. Mia Paldo with the bucket. Her twin sister, Maya, is also on the team. Patterson, New Jersey. Kick down to the corner. Champagne just missing. She can hit it out there, though. 7 made threes on the season. Hitting the court hard and not able to make her way up. Champagne is down at the other end. The Cardinal will push. And that went out of play and slow to get up. We take the timeout. 3:26 remaining. Eschmeyer has been a spark off the bench for the Cardinal. And so has Paldo. All right, thank you, ladies. Yeah, the 1-point lead for Stanford. And you can see the number differential, the threes. And in Tennessee, they average about 10 per game so far. They've connected on 1 for 12. Free throws, that definitely jumps out at you. I'm sure
it sure does.
Coach McGraw saw it as well.
Yeah, and you know, they do. They average 10 makes a game from the three-point line, but they shoot at 29%. So if you're Stanford, you are okay with them taking those shots. Now, it's imperative, though, that you finish plays on the defensive glass.
Another three. This one from Cooper won't go, but that's
what can't happen. Yep. Because Tennessee makes you pay when they get on the offensive glass.
Single shot won't go, and now Clardy to try to push. It'll be Haley Swain with the play call up top. Swain gets it. Acted like she was going to use the Aguirre screen, and instead got the jumper to go straight through. Just her second made three on the season. 1 for 10 coming in. Oh, back at you, says Spearman.
And that's the development of Z Spearman that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw her take a 10-foot jump shot in the 2 years when she was in Miami. And her development at the three-point line, her development in her face-up game, her willingness to be a part of that in this system.
And her doing that, Stephanie, that can be the difference between her potentially getting to play after college.
No question.
And not able to stop this Chloe Clardy. Good D by Tennessee to hold her ground.
I'm impressed with how Stanford's attacking on the offensive end. Good job of knocking down the shot by Haley Swain. And then on the other end, Z Spearman, they're going to continue to challenge her and knock down that shot. She shoots that one with confidence.
No hesitation, and that's her 8th make on the season out there. Senior from Decula, Georgia. 23 starts last year for Kim Caldwell in her first season. Just under 2 minutes left, first half. He's been close the entire way. High to low, lefty finger roll though, won't go for Keeper. Big rebound for Ashmeyer. And here comes the pressure, every opportunity.
Everyone.
There's a chance to trap. Oh, lofty pass by Ogden, and it's taken away by the Lady Vols. And Ashmeyer knocks that one out of the stay with Tennessee. In the 3rd annual ACC-SEC Women's Basketball Challenge wraps up tomorrow night. SMU, they host Arkansas at 7 Eastern over on ACC Network. Some really fun matchups tomorrow. That one will finish things off. I've really enjoyed this challenge, and we're starting to see other conferences try to do the same thing. But again, it's a fun way to kind of see where are we in comparison to some of these others.
I like it too because not every team schedules in a competitive way in the non-conference, and this really kind of forces you to play some competitive matchups, gives you some different looks.
ACC in control right now, though, 5-1 in wins.
Yeah, I think this could be a dominant year in this challenge for the SEC.
First half winding down. That one won't go, and a rebound into the hands of Robertson. Skip around, Spearman. That one too much. Swain. No hesitation, and foul going to go against Tennessee. Aggressive drive by Haley Swain.
First personal, number 1, Nia Robertson.
It's going to go against Nia Robertson. It's the 4th on Tennessee. Stanford, no scoring for the last 2+ minutes. Trying to get some points from the free throw line. Not there.
Well, the great thing for Stanford is they haven't scored, but they've done a pretty good job of limiting Tennessee as well. And the challenge for Stanford is going to be on the offensive end. How can you find enough point production? But they're doing a good job of dictating tempo. They're running when they have opportunities. They're keeping Tennessee from getting out too many times in transition because of their turnovers.
Yeah, they cleaned up things a bit from the start of the first quarter. As this second one is winding down. Polo, Allen Robertson. Clardy pokes it away from Cooper. Up top, Barker, nothing but net. Jemiah Barker, the senior, with a big bucket, a little momentum for Tennessee going in here at halftime. Halftime here at Stanford. Our score, Tennessee 28, Stanford 24. Let's send it to the studio for the halftime report to Kelsey Ripscuff, Megan McEwen, and Buffett the Crowd. Welcome back to the ACC-SEC Women's Challenge inside Maple Pavilion here in Stanford, California. And we've had a close one, but it's Tennessee, the number 19 team, going on an 8-0 run to finish the first half. Glad you can be with us, everybody. Kristen Luck alongside Stephanie White. And it was a nice push by Tennessee late, an 8-0 run. Their defense has really been stifling at times.
It has 13 points off of turnovers. We saw it early in the first quarter, and we saw it ending going into halftime, really dictating on the defensive end. And Talaysia Cooper has 6 of their 7 steals. I mean, just really a good job of putting pressure on the offensive player, of using her length, of being able to get deflections that then lead to steals. Stanford has done an admirable job in the half court defensively, but you have to take care of the basketball against this Tennessee ball club.
Oh, you're right. They had 8 turnovers of their 14 in the first quarter, cleaned it up a little bit, but then that late charge by Tennessee, at 13 points off of those 14 turnovers forced. That's what they love to do.
Yes, it is. And they do it in a lot of different ways, but Cooper is certainly the head of the snake.
Stanford, though, holding Tennessee to just 28 points. So the defense doing the best they can. A team that came in averaging 80 points a game. This third quarter is underway. So many of the matchups today have been close ones in our ACC-SEC Challenge, as that first option inside Spearman's been good as well. Couldn't hang on there, though. Pressure continues. Mia Paldo is going to get the start this quarter. Talked about so many different starting lineups for this team. Good for Stanford to see Laura Shinfai back in.
Well, those starting lineups, 7 different ones. It's 8 different ones in 8 different games, and based on production from the game before.
Coach Caldwell gets a lot of production, 28 points a game from her bench, and she just keeps going to it, bringing fresh legs on. Inbound play and a big block. That's Jada Sybil.
We've seen that multiple times, right? The athleticism, the speed, the quickness to get back into the play, and then that leads to an easy open 3.
Oh, some confidence for the freshman, Mia Paldo, with another bucket.
And Paldo saddled with those 2 early fouls, wasn't able to quite get into a rhythm in that first half.
And Tennessee gets their largest lead of the game to start this quarter. Fake one-way D again. Boy, that length again, just getting the fingertips and the blocks. Barker with help D, though. Nice job from McGarrett to get the hand in there. And now she'll try to post up. Little mismatch on size. Flicks it up.
I don't know how that's not a foul. I mean, there was a forearm and a push and an elbow, and that was a tough finish. Nina Rivera's got to get going offensively for Stanford.
Yeah, they really do need her to find her game. 5 points for her, and this is their leading score. And now take away by Ogden. McGarrett averaging 16 a game. Oh, just reaching in. Cooper. Defense to offense. Give her another one. Really something.
Well, she had 7 against Coppin State earlier in the season. She does such a good job of timing the cadence of your dribble. And you've got to do a really good job of keeping her off balance.
Ooh. She has the record at Tennessee with 9 steals. Did it last year. And now KK wants a timeout. Not happy with the start of this quarter. You'll take it as well. Defense to offense for Tennessee. The Lady Vols with 7 steals from Cooper, leading to the offensive production of Paldo, and another 3-ball for the Lady Vols, extending to their largest lead. By visiting v.org/Stewart. Love V Week, and it's so important, and it's really incredible what the network has been able to do in the support, and a great cause. Stanford took the timeout, trying to regroup. A tough start to this third quarter, and now another takeaway. Second turn of this quarter already. Paldo, defense getting back though. And Barker slow to get up, and she's limping her way across midcourt.
I thought it looked like she got the wind knocked out of her.
Take a look down here. She was tied up with a gear momentarily. She took the brunt of that. Shamfai, she's going to stay out there. Her forearm in the midsection. Oh. I'm glad to see her staying out there, though. All right, Barker, the senior, transferred in from UCLA a season ago. 6th player of the year in the Big Ten. And a miscue up top. Stanford forces the turn.
Stanford needs a good offensive possession right here. Give himself an opportunity to get a shot. Handle this pressure, really work to get the best shot on the floor.
Cardinal bring Chloe Clardy in early to start this half. A little bit more veteran leadership. Aggressive drive, the shot from Ogden won't go, and a rebound to Barker. And Barker almost loses it, but Tennessee will hang on. Paldo asking for the high screen. Silver goes around off the mark. Paldo with the cleanup. Nobody boxed her out. Great read from the freshman.
Yeah, you get the shot that you want Tennessee to take, and if you're Stanford, you got to finish the play. Great job of pursuing by Paldo.
And when you don't, then you face this full-court pressure. Clardy able to break it. Guerra, baseline drive, lays it up good. Much needed for the Cardinal. Quick crossover. And Paldo needed some help, and good movement without the ball. That was Wolfenbarger who's checked into the game.
Well, good job, Bruno Guerra, working along that baseline. Tough rotation is late for Tennessee, and she was able to get an easy 2.
Barker trying to get it from behind, able to hang on. Guerra with 7 points. Nobody in double figures as of yet. Paldo has 9 for Tennessee. Jersey Wolfenbarger, senior from Fort Smith, Arkansas, transferred in from LSU this season. Goes against Eschmeyer, her second. Can't get the free throws though. Oh, but not giving up on the play, and then Eschmeyer picks up another personal. That's just extra effort from Z Spearman.
And it's also the experience of Z Spearman. She doesn't get the first one. The ball is right out there. Spearman does a good job of just getting a hand on it, taking it away from Eschmeyer.
Just the second personal on Eschmeyer, so that's a good thing for Stanford. Spearman gets the first. 6'4" senior. Eschmeyer gets a seat. You got a chance to talk with her mom. Her family has made their way to town, and you know her mom. You played against her?
Played with her in AAU for a long time, and then played against her in high school and college. And she was a heck of a player, All-American at Northwestern, as well as her father, Evan Eschmeyer, had a strong NBA career.
I love that. And I love the drive there. The length of Courtney Ogden.
And her mom, Christina Diviak, her maiden name, is one of my all-time favorite people, even though she put me out of high school state summer 2 straight years.
Oh, wow. And you still like her. That tells you how great she is. Exactly. Yeah, she comes from quite the family, and she's had a good game here so far, but just picked up the fouls. The turnover there. Stevenson couldn't hang on. Looking it inside. Nope, they're going to call the travel instead. Tough break for Spearman there.
And Stanford's fortunate right there. Oh, yeah, there's Christina. Yeah, she was a heck of a player. Was fortunate enough to be a teammate with her, and then, of course, a competitor for a number of years.
Her daughter, Alexandra.
And just talking with her about the transition, and just as every freshman goes through, there's a learning curve, and there are the difficult moments, but certainly coming from a family of athletes, understanding what it takes on a daily basis.
No doubt about that. Getting some experience with the under-17 team this past summer with Haley Swain, her now teammate, winning the gold for Team USA. Here's Swain. Gets the shot off, and they're going to call a foul on Tennessee. Aldo not agreeing. That'll be her third.
Second team foul.
So fresh legs coming in for Tennessee. I think Aldo picking up the third note. She's going to have to go take a seat.
Her getting her 2 fouls early in the ballgame really impacted Tennessee. You can see the difference in their ability to play with pace and her ability to break down defenders when she's on the floor.
You're right about that. 4 starts for her on the season. Look at that impressive freshman group. That's the first one good. And tomorrow on ESPN, the ACC SEC Women's Challenge rolls on. It's number 3, South Carolina, and number 22, Louisville. That's 7 o'clock, as well as number 6, LSU taking on Duke, and that one will be at 9 p.m. Free throws good. Both sides needing to clean up the free throw shooting and getting it done there. They're checking and making sure everybody substitutions. As you see, Paul take a seat. Talasia Cooper will bring it up, the redshirt junior. SEC second teamer last year, part of the all-defensive team. You can understand why. Impressive with the quick hands. And then the crossover there, gets the shot off, and she's going to go to the free throw line.
Cooper has such good body control. You can just see her surveying the floor. Great job of getting by Ogden with that first step, and the body control, able to get it up there. She doesn't get rushed. You can see the experience of a player like Cooper, experienced in this system as well.
Foul on Ogden, her third. With 5:03 left, third quarter. She had 105 steals last year for Tennessee. She just does so much at 6 feet, but just the quickness of some of the guards out there.
And she does so much when you look at the numbers in terms of her SEC rankings. She's in the top 20 in a number of categories, 8th in assists, 7th in steals, 13th in rebounds, 20th in scoring. She has a complete game, and oftentimes we talk about being two-way players and playing both ends with the same intensity, the same urgency, the same consistency, and she does that.
She certainly does. Her numbers there, 8 steals, trying to break her own record of 9, gets that free throw. No pressure from the Lady Vols. Swain dodging, weaving, trying to find Aguera, and she does, able to hang on. I think the crowd wanted her to square up, but she opted for Clardy on the trail. The 3 balls go.
And one of the few open threes Clardy's been able to get in this ball game.
Pulls the Cardinal within 3. Spot jumper won't go. Spearman on the weak side glass. And the block. And a foul call to take the timeout. Tara Vanderveer in the building.
Tara Vanderveer looking on certainly, but great look for Chloe Clardy. One of her few open looks. Big 3. Ball game support the women's basketball program, and it sounds like everybody's excited to welcome him back to campus.
Yep, you're right about that. Part of the Washington Commanders organization, and now they bring him back to the farm. Andrew Luck, the now GM, and a former teammate of his, is out of the timeout. A good one for the Cardinal. They pull within 1. Aggressive drive, that one won't drop, batted around. And it's going to stay with Tennessee, they'll say. Well, they do crash the glass. I mean, there's 3 bodies right there ready.
I mean, there has to be discipline in every possession, especially if you're not helping. And this is good defense by Clardy, really forcing a tough contested shot. But you can't watch. You can't watch the ball. You've got to go find a body.
And off the inbound, the takeaway by Aguera. Trying to push. Lays it up, no good. The trail and the offensive rebound for Stanford. Clardy hit one earlier. Gets another. And that gets Coach Pritchard and this crowd on their feet. An 8-0 run for Stanford. We'll take the timeout. Stanford regains the lead. 3:47 remaining. They regain the lead, first time since the second quarter stuff.
Well, good job of locking in on the defensive end. I thought the timeout that Kate Pay called when it looked like Tennessee was starting to make a run in that third quarter was good for her group to regroup.
Paulo's going to come back in. Picked up the third personal, took a seat for a moment. But they are definitely a different looking team without her there. That shot short. Crashing the glass, though. That's Sybil and the jump ball. Great hustle from Jada Sybil. Out of Florida. Florida Gatorade Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American. As Swain hit the floor pretty hard. It's going to remain Stanford basketball. Aguera's going to bring it up. Parker stayed off of her. Cardinal extend the run. And an and 1 for Champagne.
I like that look because Stanford liked the matchup. Champagne has had a hard time getting going on the offensive end. Jersey Wolfenbarger in the ball game. They like that isolation, and you see the substitution coming quickly with Z Spearman coming back in the ball game.
First made bucket for Champagne. She has had a tough time, 1 of 5 shooting, and going to try to add to her totals here. Freshman from Adelaide, Australia, averaging 11 points a game. And gets it. She's averaging 9 boards a game as well. She's been huge on the glass, leads the team in that category this year. Largest lead of the game for the Cardinal. A pretty composure to Laja Cooper.
Yeah, great execution. Run a couple of little rub screens for Cooper to get downhill.
Stops the 11-0 run by Stanford. And now looking to trap. And they force it. I don't know if that was a play call by the coach or if they just recognized this.
Yeah, I think that's a play call right there, and you got a little double rub. It's a tough one to switch because you're having to switch 3 times. Stanford is a team that likes to switch on those ball screens, and you just cause a little bit of confusion.
Cooper with 11, first Lady Vol to double figures. Clardy has 10, Swain has 11 for Stanford. Just under 3 minutes left, third quarter. Cooper gets swarmed by Stanford Cardinal players. Robertson, that one rattles around and won't drop. She's been so good lately behind the arc, but that one won't go. She was 3 of 5 at UCLA with 12 points.
I had 10 threes earlier in the season against Coppin State.
Yeah, how about that? The Tennessee record, and now the offensive foul call. Standing her ground at the other end.
Yeah, this is good defense. Good read on the switch by Robertson. You see the extended arm by Swain. That's an easy one for the officials.
Nia Robertson has come to life, the senior from Fort Worth, Texas.
And Nia Robertson playing a different role than she was playing at SMU. I mean, she was a volume shooter, a primary scorer, and a year ago at SMU, and now she's able to be more of a spot up and at times playing that point guard position.
You're right, very different after transferring in from SMU, and now a bucket pulls Tennessee within one. That was Cooper.
And the last few times down the floor, Cooper getting the ball in those ISOs on the elbow.
Yeah, she's been the go-to. Champagne's three, no good, and the rebound down to Latham. Chance to regain the lead for Tennessee. Help D coming over, but that allows Spearman to try to clean it up. Can't get the shot to go though. And Clardy needing some help. The D getting a piece of it. Cooper. And Pablo on the weak side, another chance. Robertson. The shot's just not dropping for Tennessee. And Swain's gonna push. Champagne. 2-on-1 and the Cardinal get it. And now a turnover against the Lady Vols.
Stanford's fortunate to be able to come away with those defensive boards, and this is a great job in transition. Champagne gets her feet underneath her, uses a little head and shoulder fake. You don't know who's coming behind you, and Tennessee has a number of blocks already in those situations. Good pace, poise, and composure.
14th turn of the game for Tennessee. 21 turnovers for Stanford. And that is a new season high.
And sometimes it seems like Stanford's one dribble too many. You know, they're waiting until that trapper gets just about to them before they're getting rid of the ball instead of anticipating it and using that space. And there's Cooper again. Another steal.
Oh, her timing, impeccable. Barker gets the bucket, but it starts with Cooper.
And I believe that's her 9th steal.
You are right. Yeah, ties her own record of 9. There's plenty of time left. There's going to be, I think, potentially a record broken here. Hand off to Clardy. Jumper is good. How big has Chloe Clardy been off the bench?
She's been huge. And, you know, a year ago, she had to be primary ball handler responsibilities and had to be a shot creator instead of just a shot maker. And certainly that was good for her experience, but having the polo back in the lineup helps from that standpoint.
And she's accepted the role off the bench. Coach K.P. said she can't say enough about her being such a teammate. As this quarter is winding down, Polo's shot, no good, and that will do it. Stanford connected on 4 of their last 5 to take the lead into the 4th.
Well, Tennesse Cooper has been all over the place. 9 steals through 3 quarters. Her timing is exceptional. She's been the difference maker. The hustle play leads to an easy 2 for the Lady Vols.
Welcome back to the ACC-SEC Women's Challenge here at Stanford, and it's a 3-point lead for the Cardinal over number 19 Tennessee. 1 more quarter to go. Krista Blunt, Stephanie White with you, and impressive. Really, both teams have handled some runs, but that was something I think, especially Kate Pay for Stanford said, there's going to be runs in this game. You're going to have to handle this pressure.
Yeah, she mentioned that to her team today in shoot-around. It's going to be a game of runs. We've got to maintain our poise and composure. You see Tennesse Cooper with 9 steals on the night right now, but the Stanford Cardinal doing an outstanding job on the defensive end. Really doing a great job on the offensive end as well. I had 2 concerns for them coming in was, can you take care of the ball, number 1? And number 2, do you have enough firepower to score with Tennessee?
Yeah. Well, they did the last quarter. 23 points for Stanford in the 3rd quarter. They only had 24 total in the first half, so they made up for that difference. But the turnover is up to 22 now. Can Tennessee continue to add the pressure? What does Stanford still have in them for 1 more quarter? We'll find out. Barker's been a little quiet, and then Help D coming over and a takeaway there. And then Barker gets it right back. Spearman, 1-on-1, right out of Guerra. Letting them play.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, what a drive by Sybil. She is incredibly athletic.
They are. The physicality. Nunu stays vertical once she goes up. I thought there was probably a little contact before that, but I like that they're letting them play.
Yeah, I'm with you completely on that. Shampai around and won't go. She's had a couple of looks in that right corner.
Well, this is when you typically see the Tennessee style affect teams in the fourth quarter, and there's Paldo again. Does it look like, I'm not sure if there's a delay of game or...
Yeah, she held the ball just a little too long. Mia Paldo, the freshman from Patterson, New Jersey. Boy, I like it. She is scrappy.
Yeah.
She's playing the kind of style I think Kim Caldwell loves.
Well, she's been impacted by this foul trouble, so hadn't been able to get into a flow. But again, this is what you see in the fourth quarter. Does this platoon substitution, does this 40 minutes of full court pressure wear on a team? And if you're Stanford, it is imperative in this quarter to take care of the basketball.
You're right. Completely fresh legs coming in for the Lady Vols. Maya Paldo, the twin sister of Mia, comes in for her. Nia Robertson really kicked things up in the third quarter. They could get a little more from her. Stanford's been patient for the most part, though, and I think that's really helped them out. And an and one from Haley Swain doesn't hurt either.
This is a great take by Swain. Good job by Paldo of taking away the baseline. Swain finds her way to the middle of the floor, and that is a tough finish.
Bench loving it. Swain to the line with 13 points, 6 rebounds. And she's had the ball in her hands a lot also. She has helped break this press.
She gives you a different look than Lapolo with her speed and her ability to get downhill, her ability to create shots or rotations at the rim.
Freshman out of Marietta, Georgia, 5-star recruit. Miss Georgia basketball last year. Paldo on the baseline. Quick release. Clardy had her back to it. It almost landed right on her. And now pressure continues. Oh, pick in the pocket, Cooper. Give her another steal. That should give her the double-double. 10 steals for Cooper. Her timing is really remarkable.
It is. Her long arms, quick hands, timing. She just swipes at the ball and gets it after she makes the contact. I mean, there's a patience, there's a poise, but there's also a natural instinct and knack for the ball.
Just incredible with the double-double now. Her first on the season with steals and points. She's had some rebounds and points. Single-game program record.
Broke her own program record.
Did it last season.
Tennessee just makes you play almost perfect basketball because of their ability to get offensive rebounds and steals.
Yeah.
The number of possessions that they play with, the number of shot attempts that they get. You have to be that much more efficient on your end if you're giving them those multiple opportunities and multiple possessions.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think Stanford with the high turnovers right now with 24. They've given up 21 points off of them. And yet still they're head above water here, and they have this 4-point lead. They've held Tennessee down to 46 points so far. Spearman trying to get the O-board. They're just going to wave it to go the other direction.
Well, Stanford's giving themselves these opportunities because they're shooting nearly 47% from the floor. Because Tennessee is missing opportunities from the free throw line, right? Shooting it at like 43% from the free throw line.
And missed opportunities in a game like this. Full court pressure continues. This crowd was on their feet a bit. They weren't happy with a no call on that last one.
They weren't. Right here, this is the timing of knowing when the Devil's coming. It's almost one dribble, one move too late.
You're right, you can tell that timing is just Not quite there, and that was a long pass, a break for the Cardinal. 7.5 left. Stanford kind of kicking up their schedule. They'll have Cal, Washington, and Oregon, former Pac-12 foes. They've got those three next. And they knew this would kind of kickstart it. There's a whistle and a foul. It's going to go against Tennessee. And Denia Prawl. That's her second. There's the upcoming schedule for Kate Pay's Stanford Cardinal. And then January 1st, they will be at NC State. Hard to believe we are in December. And conference play is not too far away.
It's flying by.
It certainly is. Cardi trying to lose Paldo. She needs some help. Kick out. Champagne hesitated for a second on that one. Siddle loses the D, the kick out. Paldo. Oh, yeah. Around and down.
That's right. Too much time right there.
Much needed for the Lady Vols, and they are within one.
Paldo's been a difference maker when she's on the floor. Things have been smooth for Tennessee.
Yeah, they have a very different feel. Some scores from earlier today, and that NC State game against Oklahoma. Overtime, NC State had some opportunities.
They sure did. They had 4 inbound opportunities in the last, 9 seconds of the ball game.
Oh my gosh.
Couldn't quite get a good shot.
SEC controlling things so far in the challenge.
And Aaliyah Chavez going off.
Oh, yeah. Last we saw, she had 30. I didn't get the final total, but a really incredible freshman. So fun to watch. Triple team, that means somebody's open. Spearman able to find her teammate down low.
And I don't think you have to triple team Spearman in that situation. I think you stay locked up and you force her to make that play.
Prawl with the bucket. And now the lead back to Tennessee. Up by 1.
This is what we're talking about, the wear down effect. The ability to force you to continue to play fast, to continue to turn you over at a high clip and a high rate.
Cardinal have not had a bucket in over 2 minutes. That one batted around. Stevenson lost it momentarily. And a jump ball. It's going to stay with Stanford. But the fresh legs and bodies continue to come in for Tennessee.
And you get to this point, the last 5 minutes of the ball game, and it's the physical and mental sharpness and or fatigue in these moments. If you're Stanford, can you take care of the ball? Can you give yourself an opportunity? Can you keep Tennessee off the glass? And if you're Tennessee, this is exactly the situation that you expect to be in the last 5 minutes of the ball game.
That's what they've set things up for. And Stanford has not gone nearly as deep into the bench as Tennessee has. So it'll be interesting to see, just under 6 minutes left. How fresh are the legs?
And when you think about the score, this is right where Stanford needed it to be to give themselves a chance.
They have definitely been right in it. That's exactly right. Coach Kate Pay telling the team, it's our house. We're all in. And just those taking care of the ball and boxing out some basics but important things. Oh, and then off the inbound, the turnover. And the finish, Nia Robertson. Defense to offense.
Difference in the ball game right there.
And a 3-point lead for Tennessee.
As you're a coach and you're Kate Pay, you'd rather have a 5-second violation than a turnover that leads to a bucket.
It's right in front of the coach. 25 points off turnovers. And that's a 7-0 run for the Lady Vols. Ogden, Fader on the baseline. Aguera, cleaning it up. And Aguera with 9 points. Cooper on the drive. She goes to the baseline, she'll go to the free throw line.
Tennessee continuing to do what they do.
Back back in Maples Pavilion, a 1-point lead for number 19 Tennessee over Cape Bay Stanford Cardinal. But pretty impressive, this freshman class and what they've contributed so far this season.
Yeah, Haley Swain's been really good for Stanford. Her ability to get to the rim, she's knocking down a three. She gives them a different dynamic in transition. And Laura Shumpy hasn't quite been able to get going in this ball game, but 5 in this second half.
Yeah, she's really stood out. Talasia Cooper, a double-double with the 10 steals, 13 points. And points off turnovers, that is Tennessee's bread and butter. As Cooper adds to her totals. Gets the first free throw. Can Tennessee keep the pedal down? Coming off that tough loss against UCLA. They made a big run, got it below double figures, and Coach Caldwell said, you know, we didn't keep pushing her. She wasn't thrilled with the effort that the team gave. They didn't continue to play the kind of style she wanted them to.
Yeah, she talked about it just being a learning opportunity for her. She felt like she changed a little bit with the substitution in the second half and a learning opportunity for her team.
And one there, the scoop up and under for Shumpy.
I like it. You know, they haven't tried to exploit the elbow ISO for Shumpy against Z Spearman yet in this ball game, and this is a strong take and a tough finish. The comparisons for Shumpy to Alana Smith here in Stanford territory, Stanford country. And if you can continue to develop as Alana Smith did, you're in good company.
I'll tell you what a season she had this year in the WBA. My goodness. 3-point play for the freshman out of the IMG Academy, a 5-star recruit. And a lefty layup good. Cooper just continues. Lead back to Tennessee.
And that same elbow ISO. We've continued to see Cooper going to work from there.
And an answer at the other end again. Back and forth. All tied up. Shumpy come to life. Cooper getting some help, DR. What a read inside, and the flick up good by Spearman. Eyes in the back of her head on that one.
That's a great find.
Another assist for Cooper. She has 6 assists. Akira trying to lose the D. Off the mark, though. Spearman's link causing problems. And Robertson looks at coach. They'll slow it down. 3.5 left, trying to get win number 6 on the season.
Yeah, we'll go back into this elbow ISO.
Cooper faked one way, lost the D. Skips it all the way across. Spearman, oh, that one rattled. He won't drop. Another chance. Here's Robertson. Spearman's had some good looks. Just a couple of these last ones haven't dropped. Oh, contact up high, low, and one. That's a great combo for Tennessee.
There's been some miscommunications defensively, and there just runs into Spearman. Shumpy not in a position really to switch that. There's no tag from the backside. Nice find by Robertson, strong finish by Spearman.
It certainly was. The combination and the read. We've had a couple of plays now back-to-back Tennessee has as she gets the 3-point play. Spearman with 13. Already brings it up. Just under 3 minutes left. Swain with Pardo right up on her. Oh, and that one, another first turnover. Turnover 27 on the Cardinal.
And again, this is where you start to see the wear down effect. The last 5 minutes of the ballgame, we've been talking about it. Is there enough to sustain the style, the pressure that the Lady Vols put on you?
I was just thinking as Clardy was bringing it up, there's a Tennessee defender right up on her every single time you bring the ball in or turn around. There they are.
Yeah, it's a team that continues to get stronger as the game goes on. They continue to bring the same amount of urgency, intensity in their pressure, and they wear you down so that there can be an opportunity, if it's a tight game, to separate in these moments.
Well, they've definitely produced off of the turnovers forced tonight.
Yeah, I mean, from the jump, from one of the opening tip, they're going to be able to pressure you 94 feet, force Stanford all along the baseline. Then they get you playing fast and making quick decisions. Their timing in their traps and their run and jump. And Stanford at times holding on to the ball just a little bit too long, trying to go more one-on-one and dribbling through as opposed to working with the pass. When they found success, they've been able to get high percentage looks on the other end, but this Tennessee pressure wears on you.
Those numbers, the points off turnovers, 25 of them tonight on the season, forcing 20, getting 29.3. Boy, you can just see it. And the big plus for Tennessee is the depth, and depth is such a key, especially as you go through a long season. To stay healthy and they can keep this up. Really tough. Picked fourth by the media, fifth by the coaches for their finish in the SEC preseason poll. Cooper spins it in. Garrett stays with her. Spearman just can't get it though. A great effort, and Spearman landed awkwardly. You see what the call is as Spearman's slow to get up. Shumpai, I believe, gets whistled for this.
Yeah, she does, and they're going to go look and see if they need to upgrade it. And I think Shumpai talking to the official about she felt like the defender in front had their arm on her.
It's interesting. I don't even know if she knew Spearman was standing there. She was trying to get the ball away from Cooper, and then Spearman was right there. This is going to be interesting to see what the officials decide as they take a look. Back to Sissoko Stevens, Jeff Wooten there, and Chuck Gonzalez, our trio tonight. Veteran crew here at Maples. What a quarter for Tennessee, leading 18-10 this quarter alone. And a lot of it's come off of their defense.
Yeah, it sure has. The points off of turnovers. You know, the fatigue turnovers as much as the pressure turnovers. And you're going to see right here, just on the pivot, Shumpai does come right across the face.
Well, it's definitely high contact with the swinging arm.
Not the elbow, but...
Yeah. I'm just glad Spearman was able to get out, too. This is a difficult one because I don't think there was anything malicious by Shumpai. Kind of inadvertent, but at the same time, when you look at kind of the ruling, see what they've come up with, but will it be elevated or not?
They do have the opportunity to elevate it.
Still waiting.
It's a tough one because it's a natural pivot for an outlet, but it's also, if you're the one that gets hit in the face, you know,
you're thinking, I didn't have a chance.
I had no chance, and it wasn't like Spearman was pressed up on.
Right, that's true. There was
it wasn't like if you would have a halo or a cylinder rule.
Yeah, there was definitely some space and room for her. Trying to make a ruling for Stanford. Trying to get win number 9, Tennessee. Trying to get a big road win here. Finish off this West Coast swing after the tough win at UCLA.
Well, Tennessee's a program in the SEC that's going to play in tough road environments, so exposing them to these types of environments early.
And they have definitely found their offense as of late. So third personal on Shumpai. With 2:17 left.
You got to get a stop and finish to get the rebound. Finish the play if you're Stanford right here.
Not elevated, though. I think it's probably the right call.
Yeah, and it's the forearm, and it's not the elbow. You're not leading with the elbow. Yeah, I'm still trying to maintain. Those can go either way.
Two-possession game. Cardinal need to stop Spearman. So active. Her cuts have really been spectacular.
Well, and the timing of the pass. I mean, that's the difference right there.
And the foul on Ogden, her 5th. So that will do it for her. With 2:03 left. And Stanford going to go a little smaller with Lopolo into the game. Spearman with 13 points, 4 of 7 from the line, and this is the first. Gets the second. And a lane violation called against Tennessee.
No action and lane violation by the Lady Vols.
Tough break for Spearman and the Lady Vols. And Stanford capitalized. It's a 6-0 run for Tennessee.
Cardinals travel, yeah. And that's that pressure. If it's not turning you over, it's rushing you into decisions, funneling to help side, then you have to make an immediate decision.
The mental part of it would be very tiring, as well as the physicality, obviously. Big play for Tennessee.
And you've got to be perfect right here if you're Stanford. You're not putting a lot of pressure on Tennessee. You've got to make sure you're forcing contested shots and finishing the play.
Well, break there. Clardy didn't recognize. Shot clock to 4. Barker. She sees it. Gets the look. Spearman trying for another offensive board. Instead, comes down to Stanford. They need to push.
Gotta go.
Swain, the kick out. And the hit. Again with the big 3 ball. 1 possession lead for Stanford. Timeout, Tennessee. Big bucket by Aguera for Stanford.
Yeah, and Aguera has struggled tonight. She struggled from the floor, and this was just a terrific find by Haley Swain. She breaks the press. You see the defense collapse. Aguera steps up and knocks down a big-time shot for the Cardinal.
Her first 3 on the night, her 6th on the season. She's got the double-double with 12 points, 10 boards, but it took her a while to get some scoring going.
It sure did. And if I'm Kim Caldwell right now, I'm thinking about Salasia Cooper on the elbow. She's had her way with Tennessee right there. I loved the double brush that they ran for her, getting her going downhill to the right. So she does a good job of reading it and when to reject and when to use it. And if you're the Cardinal, you've got to defend without fouling. And you got to finish the play.
Both teams, 2 timeouts, no fouls to give on either side. I'm with you with Cooper. The Cardinal haven't had a lot of answers for her and the other things that she's been able to do as well.
And although I might retract that, defend without fouling. Fouling has been, you know, if you're fouling the right person for Tennessee. Tennessee, their shooting has not been good.
It has not. Tennessee 9 of 18 from the line. Stanford's gotten their shots going. Tennessee, they haven't scored in a little while. Just under a minute remaining. Oh, Lopolo on the inbound.
The spacing right here on the inbound, you know, right into the corner. It makes it easy to defend. Lopolo does a good job, and Kim Pay talked about just her IQ and her poise and composure on the floor.
Knocked it off of Cooper.
So there's an appeal right here on the out-of-bounds play for Kim Caldwell.
New addition this year with the appeal added for the coaches.
And if you're not successful, you get charged a timeout.
Yep. But still another timeout to go. So maybe not a bad idea at this point, just to get a chance to talk to your team. So also checking the time, making sure that's correct.
Hard to tell from this angle.
The polo's left foot there, did it touch her foot at all? But
it looked like it might have been Roberts, and I don't know if it touched Cooper or not. This angle's a tough angle to tell from.
Yeah, it certainly is.
And again, it's got to be clear, it's got to be conclusive.
Definitely couldn't tell there, and then Cooper sort of reached for it, but did it touch her? You can't see from that angle, but did it touch her thumb? It's got to be conclusive though, and the call was off of Tennesse. That play was happening right in front of us, and I'm thinking, that is a tough pass to make on this inbound right here, and Polo made sure that this could maybe show them a bit more.
It looks like it hits Lepovo's leg right there.
So
and then this Cooper touching.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it looks like it might stay with Tennesse, but it's got to be clear and conclusive. Unsuccessful.
Yeah. They do have some looks that we don't always see, but tough one for the Lady Vols, but a big play for Stanford. Losing the tee, Clardy thought she got tripped up. Instead, the turnover will send it the other direction.
Yeah, that's tough if you're Stanford not even getting a shot. But you've got time to be solid on the defensive end. Finished the play right here. Clardy looked for the hesitation, didn't have it.
Right there, making it difficult. So the 30th turnover on Stanford. And it ties a program record.
It's so hard when you're chasing the ball on an inbound and you come within 3 feet of the person that's inbounding. Create a little bit more space so that you can use your speed to get open.
2 timeouts left for Stanford, 1 for Tennesse. And no fouls to give on either side. And there's time here if you're Stanford. You don't have to foul. You need to stop.
And hopefully you talked about what you do if you get the rebound and the stop, if you're using a timeout to advance it or not.
Lady Vols have been on a bit of a scoring drought. Could use one here. They get it to Barker. Gets a little closer. Weaves her way in. Big defense from Shafai. Yep. It's going to go against Paldo.
And that's a big-time rebound by Shafai.
Sure was. She's been working hard inside. A freshman from Australia.
Because this is a tough one. You've got Barker trying to draw the foul. Doesn't do it. She's staying with the play. Paldo coming from behind. And she had just been called for that an offensive foul. So good job of staying with the play.
Yeah, she's got her head on her. She's got 10 points, 6 rebounds. And this is the first. Stanford, 6 of 10 from the line tonight. Can't get him. But guess who's there? Their leader, again, with the putback. Tied up.
What a play by Nunu Aguera. I mean, just staying active. Her ability to jump with this Tennessee ball club does a good job of forcing Spearman under the rim, able to keep that play alive, and then maintain composure enough to finish this right here. She just drives Spearman under the rim. I mean, that's a heavy play by Aguera, big time.
That's tough for Spearman because she had her body there, but Aguera just kept pushing through. It reminds me of something that Kate Pate told us today. She was talking about the sisterhood that this group has, and it felt like, here's your freshman missing your free throws, but Aguera says, I got your back, because they've got this thing where they have the big sister, and they'll have an upperclassman kind of helping this freshman group. You got 5 new individuals coming into this campus, right, to help them out.
Have each other's back.
Yeah.
But this is a situation right now, if you're Tennessee, you know, the appeal loses you a timeout.
Yeah.
Now you have no more timeouts. The most important thing right now, getting the ball inbounds, and then putting pressure on Stanford to defend. And if you're the Cardinal, you've talked about if they don't run it all the way down, and the shot goes up, and you get a rebound or make or miss, are we calling timeout? We got to know we're calling timeout to move the play.
Great point. In a pressure situation, over 4,500 on their feet.
But if you're Tennessee, you want the last shot. Don't give them that opportunity.
Barker and Spearman down low. Pargo, Robertson, and Cooper with the inbound. Adding just a little bit of time, 12.1 to the clock. The layup good. And Stanford calls the timeout with 6.7 left. Big play.
I mean, great play. Just an ISO for Cooper to go right. And in that situation, everybody behind Chloe Clardy has to be talking to her. You got to sell out to get to that right hand of Cooper. Watch Cooper, the subtle hesitation. She slows down right here, and so does Clardy.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You got to get to that right hand. You got to force her to make a secondary move in to help defenders. I mean, that's a heck of an individual effort by Cooper.
Yeah, she read it perfectly.
And a great play call from the sideline for Tennessee.
Sure has been. Cooper, 19 points. The 10 steals, 6 assists. Tennessee, they've not shot as well as Stanford tonight. They've taken more shots, but boy, that was a big one there.
It sure was. Great execution. Cooper's had her way getting to the rim. So now if you're Stanford, you've got a lot of different weapons that you can go to. You know, you've got Swain, who's done a great job of getting to the rim, getting to the paint. You've got Aguera, who's been in these situations before. Shenfai and Chloe Clardy, who made the game winner a game ago.
And this is a team that clawed their way back against Colorado State. You're right, Clardy making the game-winning layup. Aguera, head D. Oh, that one trickles off the rim, and a foul from behind. It had a great look. Aguera frustrated she didn't get a foul to go her way as Robertson got knocked to the floor.
Now, I don't know how that shot got up there, but Aguera, yes, in the ISO, great defense, getting her to spin into traffic, and who else? Talasia Cooper getting a hand on that on the spin.
Boy, I know that Aguera wanted a foul call. There was not a lot of contact when you look at the replay. Latham maybe a little bit with the body, but pretty clean other than that.
And the difference in Latham really selling out to force the counter move, to force the spin into traffic.
Really big play for Alyssa Latham off the bench. 0.5 on the clock, they will say.
And we'll see, they might be going back to look at the time.
Officials are reviewing the timing of the foul.
So take a look at the clock here on this one when the foul was called. You see the hand go up, but it's pretty close. Right close, yeah. Big rebound by Tennessee on that one also. Robertson took some contact, no doubt. Cooper, the redshirt junior. She's been huge in this one.
And none of it, you look down at the stat sheet, you see, and outside of the steals, all of it's been within the flow and fairly quiet in the game. But she has been able to live in those ISOs at the elbow. She's been able to get steals that lead for scores for herself and her teammates.
Yeah, there's so many things that don't show up on that stat sheet that she's involved with. Big free throws here. Robertson's an 87% free thrower coming into the game. Her first attempt tonight, though, off the mark. Stanford has one timeout remaining. And she gets the second.
That's almost better for Stanford that she makes that one.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So the timeout called.
I mean, that's them get an opportunity to move the ball. We saw them working on their end-of-game situations today and shoot around. So they've got some opportunities, to look at some multiple screening actions. You would anticipate Tennessee in these situations switching.
Neither of these teams want to lose this game, obviously. But they are going to take so much from this experience. I mean, there's so many different things they're going to look at, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, there is. And for Tennessee to bounce back, after that loss to UCLA, for Stanford, this is exactly what they needed to do to give themselves an opportunity to win in their first Power 4 competition of the year.
They have had 30 turnovers forced upon them. They've given up 25 points and yet still kept their composure enough and done enough to hold Tennessee down to just 65 points so far.
There you go.
Had the look, but off the mark. And Tennessee, big win on the road to hold off the surge from the Stanford Cardinal.
Well, Stanford got a good look, and if you're KP, you've got to feel really good about the effort that your team put forth this evening. And if you're Kim Caldwell, their ability to find different ways to win. It's a tight game. They're not scoring at the clip that they're used to scoring at, but continuing to do what they do on the defensive end. And that's why you play that style. That's why you play the way that you do in terms of pressing 94 feet, multiple players, multiple substitutions, so that you can wear teams down to position yourselves to pull away at the end of ball games.
Oh, you're right. I mean, that quarter, Tennessee made that push, and they won that quarter 21-15. And it's because of that style that you can see again, the physical fatigue, but I think the mental part of it as well. It's a lot to continue to see every single minute as you see our ACC-SEC Women's Challenge 6-1, the SEC in control so far. Let's take a look at the numbers for Talaysia Cooper. So good. And as you said, doing it in so many different ways, in so many different areas, but her defense creating the offensive opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, she set the tone, the head of the snake on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, her ability to create offense from that defense for herself, for her teammates, and really does just set the tone.
And we're joined now by Talaysia Cooper. Okay, Talaysia, I'm tired watching all the pressure that your team brings on. Talk us through this game a little bit, because Stanford wasn't going away. They kept making a push. How were you able to kind of keep the intensity up, especially late?
I'm just pressuring the ball, just making sure we're on the same page. Stanford is a pretty good team. and we knew what we was coming into, so we just had to stay together as a team.
Yeah. Your pressure allows you in fourth quarters to separate. What are you guys talking about in huddles? What are you talking about on the floor to maintain that pressure?
Knowing that our defense leads to offense, our best offense is our defense because like we just go in transition. Also like communicating. Like I feel like we talk a little bit better this game.
Well, you forced 30 turnovers. You got 25 points off of those turnovers. Your knack and timing, is some of this, is it just instinct for you, or is there anything in particular or anybody that you've watched that you've kind of learned the timing of the steal?
I just watch the ball and see what they're doing with it. And it's just an instinct thing, too.
Well, really impressive. Double-double for you, by the way. 10 steals and a big win on the road. Congratulations. This was a fun one.
Thank you.
Big win for Tennessee. Good bounce back. After the loss to UCLA, they get the win here tonight against the Stanford Cardinal. That is going to do it for us from Stanford. For Stephanie White, I'm Crystal Block. So long. Tennessee, they get the win tonight. 65-62 over the Cardinal. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the ACC SEC Challenge.